Hi everyone, Deb Houck here. I am part of the Oh So Inspired collaboration. It is hosted by Call Me Crafty Al, who is Alicia. And this month we were inspired by a video, or series of videos actually, for a mini folio done by Paper Crafter 45, and these were from 2015. What you're looking at here is her mini folio. And then there was an initial video which is linked below. It's video 1, but then you have to go to 2, 3, and 4 to get the instructions for the rest of the folio. And it uses paper plus the envelope punch board. Now, the thing is, I don't have the envelope punch board. I have the 1, 2, 3 punch board. And I will tell you, it is a little bit different in that apparently the envelope punch board doesn't have all these other slots. It just has one. So there's some instructions that say, you know, line it up with the left hand side. And at first I was like, okay, which left hand side? And it's the far left one is what you have to use. So I just thought I'd let you know that if you watch the video, you have to use that far left one slot. So without further ado, I did not do a tutorial because hers is the tutorial. It's very thorough. I'll give you some pointers along the way. I did make the folio, and I only made one. I only had time to do one. And mine, you'll see my tabs are in the opposite directions as hers. And I don't know whether that's because of the way she filmed, but when I got down to putting papers on the inside and things, I was like, oh, well, that's a little backwards. But anyway, so here's mine. I did a Halloween theme, and I did use Stampin' Up's Toil and Trouble designer papers. I used Stampin' Up cardstock in basic black and crushed curry. And then I had some bits and bobs that I used from my stash, like these gems. They're not Stampin' Up. Neither is this Bat is Little Bee that I got at Tuesday Morning or Blitzy a while back. This little cat, I think, is Little Bee also. And I don't remember the brand of these little gemmies here. They're not Little Bee, but I forget what they are. These are cutouts from the paper Toil and Trouble. This is Toil and Trouble paper here. And the stamp Bubble Bubble Toil and Trouble is also from that collection. And it's on the fancy, let me see what it's called, Pretty Label Punch. That's also available at Stampin' Up. And I will put the item numbers down below. So there's the cover, and then when you open it up, it's supposed to have, here's one of my backwards, this over here. But when I cut these papers out, I realized they didn't fit over here because they were the opposite way. And also when you cut your designer paper, when you do the tabs, you, on some of them, are going to have to do them upside down so that they align properly with the right side up, you know, with the direction of the tab. So you really have to kind of be careful, especially with the pattern paper. And also when you're measuring for each area, if it's pattern paper, be sure to account for the direction. If there's a directional paper, make sure you account for that when you're doing it. So for example, these bats, you know, if I had measured it the length to be this way, then the bats would all be sideways, if you know what I mean. So anyway, what they had this with, even if I turn this over, her tabs were up here and mine are down here. Anyway, this was supposed to be on the front cover, but I forget what happened. It didn't work out. Oh, because of the way this is, she hadn't rounded the corners, and I hadn't then obviously either. It wouldn't fit down here because I rounded the corners already of this. So her tab was down here with the pointy end, and mine wasn't. So anyway, I had to reverse it. So yeah. Okay, so this is supposed to be inside the front cover, and then you make a tag or something if you want to. Now, her instructions gave you for double mat, so it was, in all cases, it was the base and then another mat. And I think what she did is just her designer paper was the second mat, and I didn't realize it. I was just like double matting everything. And then I'm like, well, now I got to put designer paper on. So I actually almost have triple mats. Basically what you're doing, whatever your initial measurement is, just go in 1/8 of an inch and then 1/8 of an inch, or 1/4 inch and then 1/4 inch is what it is. So here, this is the out of the designer paper. It is the sheet. It has, I hadn't used it before, it has that on one side and the bats on the other. So that was pretty cool. The broom I actually stamped on the crushed curry, and I used this old crumb cake stamping pad, but it still works, from Stampin' Up, and they still have crumb cake. And I used this cauldron bubble stamp set, the broom right here. I did use the bubble toil and trouble, and I used the happy Halloween in here. I think that's it for the stamping. And then I used the cauldron framelets, and I'll show you what I did for those. So yeah, I wasn't quite ready to do a Christmas one, and this is my first one, I wanted to try it. Honestly, I would put more pockets in there. That has a pocket. I might put a label on here still. So I actually, this didn't have a pocket, I don't think, in hers, and I made a little pocket. And right now I just have a witch's hat sticking out of there, which is die cut out of the paper with the framelets or thinlets or whatever they're called. This is another little bee cat. This is a gem out of that same pack as on the front. And these were out of a different pack I had from the same one as the little cat was in here. So then when you open it up, I put another belly band in here. Here's another one of those bats. And then I have a black cat over here on this cat paper with glow-in-the-dark eyes. They're still a little wet, so I'm being a little careful. And I may put some other cut aparts in here. Right now I just have 2 scallop circles, a black and a yellow, and another little kitty cat punched out. And then here, this is not punched out, so I guess you could put a picture there. Hindsight's 2020, I would have made that into a pocket as well and glued it here, here, and here, so that you could still have a flip, but I would have made that another pocket, or at least a tuck spot or something. So what I did is I put a piece of this sparkly ribbon, which is also Stampin' Up, and you've seen me using this before guys, if you're watching me. It's beautiful. I love this ribbon. It has like silver flecks in it, sparkles like crazy, and it is called Glittered Organdy Ribbon, 3/8 inch. You get 10 yards, approximately 10 yards, and it's in black and silver. From Stampin' Up, that's in their seasonal catalog, which is available now online. We're Stampin' Up, and my link is down below. And here's another one of the bats, only it's flying, and this moon was in the same pack as these orange stars and the black kitty. And these stars actually were out of the cauldron framelits dies. And let me just show you the piece. It is this piece here, and it cuts out all those stars. Now when you have what you have left over from that, you should save, because you can use it as a stencil, and I've done that in the past, and then just inked through the stencil paper. So yeah, and here's the die set. It has a witch, which is the one I did on the front, but you can also it also works with the stamp set witch that you can color yourself. The hat is up here that I cut out, or you can stamp one and do it. And the cauldron cuts out of the paper, but you can also stamp one and do it. And then there's a frog and a cat and a ghost, and then the broom and the words. So, and this has actually a spider web, which isn't in the paper. And I did use 2 of those. Hang on one second. Over here. So over here are the two spider webs, and then this little piece of paper behind him. Let me show, if I have a full sheet I can show you. Hopefully. I think I still do. See here, I cut these into strips, this sheet of paper, and cut all these different ones out, and then I'm using bits to cut out the cauldrons. But you get stripes, you get two rows of spiders, you get 2 rows of the orange, I guess little pumpkins or something, and then the back of that one is the green and white dots, which I've shown before. So yeah, and then the witches are on a sheet like this, and let me see which one. This is the witch that cuts out with the die cut, but there's only a couple of them, like 2 or maybe 3 that you can cut out of there. So it's better just to, probably, I didn't realize, I'm not going to do that with this sheet. I will use that for cards or something, but anyway. And then I didn't use this today. This is the ghost paper, and it's purple on the back. And then there's a pumpkin paper, which I also didn't use today. I've used it in the past, and broomsticks on the back. And I'm probably missing a couple. Oh, the hats. Here's the hats. There's the bats. Here's the frogs on the back of the hats, and the stars are on the back of the bats there. So I had not used the stars paper before, and so I thought I'd give that a whirl this time. This little spider was out of a set of stickers that I had, and they might be from Hobby Lobby last year, or actually I believe they were not from Hobby Lobby. I think they might have been Walmart. They were in this pack here. And I think these were also probably from Walmart. It says Party Favors, and that was the bling. I used some of the blings. And the kitty cats, the bats were Little B, and there's one kitty in here somewhere that's Little B also. And then this tag comes out here. I'm going to put something else in here when I give this away. I don't know what I'll put there yet, and I'll probably put more die cuts here. This kitty's eyes are glow-in-the-dark stickles, which I've hidden, that I had gotten it Tuesday morning. They look like this. It's sort of a yellow-green. It was in a 3-pack from Tuesday morning last year, and this does glow and sparkle and glow in the dark. And then over here, this is a Doodlebug brad that I also got it Tuesday morning last year. So I had 3 packs of brads, and that's just a little bat, and I just left it plain in the back. There again, I have 3 mats really, and then I have the broomstick here, like I showed you before. So that is my little book. I didn't put my name on the back yet. I'm trying not to close it just now. And this I stamped Happy Halloween. Oh, I used my triple banner punch to do the edges there and here. I have a band across of the stars, a 1.5 inch circle punch I had left over from a different project, the bling, and here's that cat that was a Little B also. So I think it turned out cute. I just think there's not enough pockets, so that's why I put a pocket in here and a belly band here, and then I really should have put something on here, and I didn't think of it, but I guess somebody could put a picture over that, and then can tuck something in this ribbon here, because I didn't want to also add, I'm going to close it like this and keep my finger there. I didn't want to add too much volume to it. And I'll put my name and information on the back. So that's my little folio. I think it came out cute. And I think I actually could also, and I may do that, put some paper in here, you know, that they could write on. And I think I'm going to do that. Cut down some paper, put it in here, and then just use a elastic or in the edges there to make it a little writing book, because I just feel like, what are you going to use this for unless it had more pockets or things? You know, I don't know. What would you use this for? There's my question. I guess maybe a picture here, and it needs more journaling cards or something, right? I guess we could put white paper on the back of there and tuck some pictures in here or something. Yeah, I just feel like it needs another pocket or two or more paper or something. So I think I'm going to add paper to it, maybe distress it and put an elastic there, and then that'll be my finished project. But I won't have that done by the time this video goes up. So there's my little mini portfolio, or mini folio, I guess they called it. I probably made it a little too puffy because it's not closing real good. Oops. So I'll have to also think about a closure. Yeah, where did I put some? Oh, maybe the cat there. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to put a closure, which would have to go right here, or just tie it with ribbon, which is more likely what I'll do. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that was kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that, but isn't that cute? The girl, the little witch with her little black cat, and the bats at night, and the cauldron, witch's brew, and then happy Halloween, and there's her hat, an extra hat, and the more bats and spiders and things that go meow in the night. I tried to stick with the yellow, the blacks, and the oranges. This is pumpkin pie color. This is crushed curry and basic black. I tried to mostly stick with them and whisper white and not get into the purples and things too much. And even the hat has bats on it, and it's the yellow and orange. So I tried to stick with that this time, even though she's purple, but oh well, had to pop a little bit somewhere. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed. Please go check out all the other collaborators. Actually, I think I'm on the last one on the list. So if you're starting with me, go check out everyone else. And if I'm your last one on the list, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching anyway, even if you hit me in the middle. And do come back next month. I can't even remember what we're doing next month yet. So, but come back. It's always something different. And I like to try what it is first and then figure out how I'll change it. So I definitely have some ideas on how I'd modify this, but it was a good start, and it's a way to make a little file folder thing, folio, without having metal dies and things, which I do have, but I used the punch board. I used my 123 punch board and followed the instructions as best I could. And they were pretty clear. It's just that, like I said, this should have been up here, so I must have done it inside out. I don't know, like if I had turned it this way, then they would have been right. But I didn't do that. Oh well, that's me. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and please do go hop along and enjoy everyone else in the collab. And I hope you'll come back next month on the 15th of October, which is my brother's birthday. See you then. Bye.